Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into Greenloop 3.0, a really ambitious project that's looking to completely reshape rural life across the Asia-Pacific. And we're not just talking about planting better crops. This is about rewiring the entire system right from the ground up.
You know, this one sentence really gets to the heart of what Greenloop 3.0 is all about. It's a signal that this is way more than just a new piece of tech. It's a blueprint for creating real, lasting prosperity and, well, happiness.
But to really get why this solution is so ambitious, we have to first understand the incredibly complex web of problems these rural communities are smack dab in the middle of. So what is this double burden? Well, think of it like farmers are caught in a pincer movement. Coming from one side, you've got all these escalating environmental threats, droughts, bad soil, you name it. And from the other side, you have a broken economic system that basically shuts them out from getting their fair share. And here's the thing, these aren't just separate, isolated problems. Oh no, it's a tangled mess where each problem feeds the others. Money leaking from the supply chain makes the local economy weaker, environmental damage makes farming way harder, and with no real opportunities, what happens? The young people leave. It's a vicious cycle. So how in the world do you solve a problem that's so deeply interwoven? Well, Greenloop 3.0's answer isn't some small tweak or a shiny new gadget. It's a total, fundamental redesign of the whole shebang. At the absolute heart of this whole thing is a core belief. You can't just fix one part and expect the rest to magically get better. Real lasting strength comes from lifting up agriculture, empowering young people, and making sure women are included all at the same time. They're seen as these three pillars that hold everything else up. And this is where it gets really clever. The solution works on two layers. First, there's the physical layer, right there on the ground. It's a waste-free farm where everything is used. Crop residue becomes fertilizer, for example. But holding all that together is the second layer, a revolutionary digital backbone that uses technology to build trust and transparency where there used to be none. Okay, let's zoom in on that digital layer because this, right here, is the game changer. This is how they plan to stop all those systemic leaks and corruption we talked about earlier. It all starts with a very basic but crucial first step, knowing who the real farmers are. It's a serious three-step process. They start with data, then the local community has to actually verify the person, and only then is a final public digital list created. This makes sure that every single benefit goes to a real person, not some ghost beneficiary on a list somewhere. So once a farmer has verified it, this is how the system becomes totally leak-proof. They get a smart card, it's their digital ID. When they go to buy fertilizer or seeds, the seller uses a simple terminal to scan the card, and boom, the subsidy is applied right then and there. And here's the kicker. Every single transaction gets a unique, unbreakable digital signature. It's impossible to tamper with. The subsidy now follows the farmer, not the product. And this diagram just beautifully illustrates that entire digital chain of trust. You've got real-time data from the farm flowing into this super secure, unchangeable blockchain ledger. That rock-solid record then becomes the single source of truth for sharing all the benefits, transparently, with everyone involved. Now, the system architecture is also super smart. They use a hybrid model. For all the high-volume, day-to-day stuff like soil health records, they use a fast, standard database. But for the most critical piece, the final verification of a transaction, that gets recorded on an energy-efficient blockchain. This gives you an unhackable, tamper-proof audit trail. It's really the best of both worlds, speed and ironclad security. Okay, so the tech sounds amazing. The system design is brilliant, but does it actually work? In the real world? Well, let's look at the numbers, because the results are pretty compelling. 57%. That is a huge number. That's how much irrigation water is saved just by using more advanced farming protocols. In a region where water is becoming more and more scarce, saving over half the water you'd normally use is, well, it's an absolute game changer. 14.47%. Now, what's that? That's the internal rate of return on the project's solar-powered cold storage units. In plain English, that means they're not just good for the environment, they're highly profitable. And a return like that gets private investors really interested, which is what you need to scale this up. And how about this one? 3,500 kilograms. That's how much CO2 emissions are cut by each and every one of those solar storage units every single year. It's a direct, measurable blow against climate change happening one community at a time. So when you put it all together, you get a picture like this. And what's so crucial to see here is that success isn't just being measured in dollars and cents. They're tracking success across the board, from economics to the environment to social inclusion. Like that target for 50% women participation, it proves the whole system is delivering benefits on every level. Okay, so we've seen the problem, the solution, and the proof that it works. So what's next? How does this grow from a local project into a vision for the entire region's future? Well, the first thing to know is this isn't happening in a vacuum. The project is strategically designed to line up perfectly with big national goals like Smart Bangladesh 2041 and international ones like at least 5 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And importantly, it's designed from day one to be replicated across 15 other countries. And they have a very clear roadmap to get there. It's not a hope and pray situation. It starts with a pilot of 500 farmers in 2026, then scales up nationally by 2028. With the ultimate goal of reaching over 500,000 farmers and creating these smart agri-towns by the end of the decade. Which really brings us to the final powerful question. By weaving together a circular bioeconomy on the ground with transparent digital governance in the cloud, Greenloop 3.0 is offering a potential model for what a resilient, fair, and prosperous rural future could look like, not just in Asia, but everywhere. It's a powerful idea that the future isn't about choosing the environment or the economy, but about designing smarter systems that lift up both.